Have you ever questioned what the project management lifecycle is all about? The PM lifecycle is really just a way of describing the life of a project. It's how projects happen, how the phases of a project are conducted by a team from brief through to delivery. Every project has a start and an end. It's born, matures, and then dies when the project lifecycle is complete. The Project Management Institute has defined 5 process groups which come together to form the project management lifecycle. There's initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. It's a useful framework to think about how we manage projects, and it's more flexible than thinking about any particular methodology. A project always starts somewhere. The problem that the project needs to fix needs to be defined. This is initiating. A solution to fixing that problem and an approach must be developed. This is planning. That plan must then be put into action. This is executing. While executing, we track the project to make sure it does what it's supposed to. This is monitoring and controlling. The project is then deployed, performance is evaluated, and the project is then over. This is closing. That's the essence of the project management lifecycle. But let's do a deep dive into each of these areas. The first step in a project's lifecycle is initiating, where you define what needs to be done. This phase is all about kicking off a project with your team and with the client, getting their commitment to start the project. You bring together all of the available information together in a brief or a project initiation document, sometimes called a PID, to define the project scope, cost, and resources. The goal of the initiation phase is to take a loose brief of a project and define it in terms of what it needs to strategically do and achieve in order to be successful and worthwhile. It needs to deliver a return on the investment and earn that value as quickly as possible. So we need to make sure we're doing the right things to achieve that. Next is the planning phase, which involves defining how to do what needs to be done. Planning is where you define all the work to be done and create the roadmap that you follow for the remainder of the project to get you there. It's during the planning phase that you figure out how you're going to perform the project and answer the questions, what exactly are we going to do? How are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? And how will we know when we're done? Next is executing. This is the part of the project management lifecycle where you finally get to execute on your awesome project plan. It's where planning gets turned into action. You bring your resources on board, brief them, set the ground rules, and introduce them to one another. After that, everyone jumps in to perform the work identified in the plan. Then comes monitoring and controlling, where you work to keep the project on track. As a project manager, you report performance and monitor and control the project. That means monitoring the project life, the budget, and timeline, reviewing estimates versus actuals, and reviewing tasks completed against the time spent and time remaining to ensure the project is going according to plan. And if it isn't, controlling it by working out solutions to get it back on track. The final step is closure. In this final phase of the project management lifecycle, your project is essentially over. At this point, it's useful to hold a meeting post-project review to discuss the strengths and the weaknesses of the project and team, what went wrong and what didn't go so well, and how to improve in the future. This can be one of the most rewarding stages of project management, as it's a great opportunity to recognize and acknowledge valuable team members and celebrate the successes. So that's the project's life cycle. Simple, right? No, not really. Like most things in life, projects are complex and involve a large number of variables along with plenty of gray areas. Your life cycle management in practice may look totally different from another agency's or project manager's system. Even so, many of the underlying concepts that support the steps in project management are the same. Have you ever questioned what the project Yeah, good. Yes. Was that good? Or, okay. And create the roadmap that you follow to remain. Were you not recording? Oh no, you were not recording? Oh my gosh.
Becca!